Dr. Mona El-Farra is the Gaza director of the Middle East Children's Alliance and has been a major community and women's organizer in Gaza for decades. She was also a doctor at Al-Auda Hospital that she helped found. She and her son Mohammed Ghalaini, who's also here today, were both in Gaza during the beginning of the bombing. Mohammed Ghalaini, a Gaza scientist based in Manchester, stayed in Gaza when he could have evacuated and reported out from Gaza for the next 2 months. His voice reached many mainstream media outlets who interviewed him while he was surrounded by the bombing. He was regularly having to uproot and move locations with other family members as more Israeli attacks closed in.
First, I say hello, and I say that I pass the message to all Palestinian people in Gaza. Your presence today, either in the march that has been going on and on since the start of the attack, or here in this hall, I'll pass the message for the people in Gaza, the women, the children, the men who are feeling forgotten and feeling that the governments of the world are in support of Israel. I'll tell them the people of the world, including you, are supportive and will continue to support the Palestinian cause. The Palestinian, what's happening in Gaza now and before, under the occupation, this is nothing new, and I would like to correct the word 75 years of struggle. No, it is more than the time of the ethnic cleansing in 1948. It started with the Zionist movement, so it is 120 years now, because between Balfour Declaration and the ethnic cleansing of Palestine, there was a struggle as well, as the Palestinian people realized that their land will be stolen of them. So it is not only 75 years. And when I want to say that I am going to be 70 in May, and I witnessed all my life, I was living between one attack and another, small attack or large, so all my life, and then after that, my children's life, and I hope that my grandchildren will have better chance than we did. I believe strongly that the Palestinian struggle is part of the struggle of the whole people of the world who are looking for justice and who are fighting the big corporations, companies that is working in, for example, in arms deal. They are benefiting of this sort of wars, and of course I still believe that the capitalism is behind all this as well. So if I want to talk about stories, there are many stories. Every day we have stories, but stories of occupation, because Palestinian people are occupied, and the international law says when you are occupied, you have the right to defend yourself, you have the right to resist. On the other hand, this double standard world say Israel has the right to defend itself, and it is very strange because we are occupied, we are under occupation. We are the people who should defend themselves, but this is how things are in this double standard world, and governments that support the genocide in Palestine, support the daily killing of the children and women, etc. And I'm sure all of you are following up this even more than I do. This is obvious, but for me, I always, as a mother and grandmother, think of the children, all the children, including children who are living inside occupied Palestine now, Israel. I think of them. All the children are the children of light. And this message to Mr. Netanyahu, and this summarized the occupation, summarized the discrimination and the racist attitude towards other children. The Israeli children are the children of the light, and our children are evil. We are subhumans. They are all the time trying to dehumanize us. And what happened on the 7th of October, I feel sorry for the killing of lives, of course. And I say it is the resistance in Palestine now. It is against the occupation. It is not about Hamas alone, but Hamas with others. Every human being there in Gaza, where I lived most of my life, is resisting by being on the land. It doesn't have to carry weapon to resist, but our existence on the land is resistance as well, and they don't like this. They don't like this because it was a racist, apartheid, colonial regime that has been founded for to the interest of the American and the big companies and the arms dealers, and it is part of the fight, our fight against all those people. And when we talk about injustice, it is not in Palestine only. It is in America, here in Manchester, when those armed companies are living on your taxes, living on the cost of the ordinary British people who are benefiting from the welfare of the government, like health. This is part of this, and when you fight for Palestine, you fight for your own freedom as well, to be free, to have justice for all the people of the world, despite of their race, their color, their political belief, their ethnicity. Yeah, so the Palestinian fight is your fight too. It's fight for all people of the world who are calling for equity, equality, and against injustice in the world. So we are on the same page. We are all Palestinians. The future, I'm always thinking of the future. The future of the children, those children who are living and sharing the same land, Palestine historical land, and those children who are now subjected to the most aggressive, brutal attacks after 7th of October in Gaza, I think of their future. I believe strongly that the more violence Israel shows and the more violation of human rights, and I started to hate this word, human rights, but it has gone far more than human rights and violation. What's happening in my country is war crimes against humanity and genocide as well. So when I think of the children, I think of the children on both sides because they are the future. So if Israel continue to do this against our children, women and men, then on the other side, the people, more radical people will be, more people who are willing to fight those people who killed their loved ones, demolished their homes and livelihood and destroyed their structure. So this is not the answer. And many times I was asked what is the answer. In my opinion, and many Palestinian people are sharing this opinion from in Gaza, people in Gaza and the West Bank, that the future will be for one state sharing the same land and based on one voice, one person, democratic, to be shared. But if the other side accepted to give up the interests that I have mentioned in the front, that means if they are willing to be less greedy, the land can be shared, the resources can be shared, and we don't have to continue having this. And it is a long-term struggle. I believe maybe I will not see in my own days, but the future will be for this solution, the one-state solution. I don't like to go through the numbers with you, but just bear up with me. I will not use the numbers, but the numbers of those Palestinian people who were killed during the attack, increased number of doctors, nurses, teachers, hospital workers, engineers, university professors, all works of the Palestinian society has been attacked, and it was systematic attack. They want to destroy the population in a strong entity by attacking those people. This is journalists. This reminds me of the systematic plan of 1948 ethnic cleansing of Palestine, where it was a systematic plan to evacuate more than 500 villages and Palestinian villages and cities when Israel was founded. So it is the same mentality, still the same mentality. They need the land without people, and they will not succeed. They will not succeed, I reassure you, when we are all united to the same cause, which will bring peace and stability for the future generations, including my grandchildren. Where is Sidna? Sidna is my grandchild. Say hello to them. Yeah. When I, as a health worker, I'm a doctor, and I have run many health projects throughout my life. When I think of the health situation of the people, my people now under this attack, my people now who are 1.8 at least, became maybe more, correct me, but at least 1.8 million have been displaced, have left their houses, were ordered to leave actually by the military, the occupying forces, and they moved many times. They ended up, the majority ended up in Rafah, the south, in a very, very dire situations, health situation. Literally, they are hungry and thirsty, and no proper shelters, and not enough aid is entering Gaza, just 10% of what is needed. And when they managed to allow one of the aid trucks into Gaza, they consider it, the Israelis, big piece of news, which is not enough. And I am seeing that and watching that, not through the news, just from direct testimonies from people on the ground. There is hunger in Gaza, famine in Gaza, and the situation is even more in the north, in Gaza city and Jabalia, Bethlehem, and the camp as well. So those children who are experiencing such circumstances, not only in the psychological level, it is the physical level. So I'll give you small examples. Every day we have 180 women give birth to the children inside the tents. And when you just think of the number, it is not just the number they give birth. Imagine of the surrounding situation. The woman is anemic, because she did not get enough food, and giving birth in such circumstances with lack of painkillers. They give birth to children, but 50, this is every day I say, 110, but we have 55,000 women are pregnant at the moment, and they give, this is the number of OCHA. So think of those women forced to give birth in such circumstances, and think of the 15% of complications they will end up with the complications of delivery. Some of them actually had to have cesarean section without anesthesia. Can you think of this traumatic experience? And the complications of will continue to accompany those women, and the children, the woman, I'll talk more about women, the woman who has to be starved, has to be starved because she will spare the food for her children. When they mention health, human rights, and the attacks against the ambulances and the hospitals, etc., etc. This is not new for me. I have lived this all through my life, but the scale now is beyond my imagination. They are asking me, I have only 3 minutes, so I'll end quickly. So if I think of Gaza, Palestinian in Gaza, I don't think of Gaza alone. I think of Gaza, Palestinian in Gaza, Palestinian in the West Bank, because this is another story too, what have to endure under this colonial occupation. I think of Palestinian in the refugee camps in Syria, Lebanon, and Jordan. I think of all the Palestinian people in the diaspora, scattered all over the world, settled or unsettled. Everyone has a story as well, and this story help give me hope to that the Palestinian cause with the people like you who are in support of us will never be part of the history. Israelis will not be able to defeat us, and they have experienced that more than 3 months, and now the resistance did not. The Israeli army did not achieve their goals. This is, if it shows something, it shows that we feel injustice and we have the strong determination that we will not end. And I pass this message through you. I will tell you about the bright side of life in Gaza. Under all this myth, young people like you, and I'm glad, very glad that I see the movement is recruiting more young generations, and this is very uplifting for me and empowering for me and for others as well. This great success for you, Manchester. Really, I salute the presence of the youth and the children. I said about the bright side of life inside those tents. While people are displaced, hungry, thirsty, and have disease and all sorts of deprivation, cold, and the cold is so bad in Gaza, not like England, but because we have storms and living in it. Amongst all this, I still see many volunteers. They get in touch with me. What can we do? How can you help us to help others? Can you see this? Can you see this community spirit, solidarity spirit? Youth, graduated or school, they are approaching me to help them. How can we volunteer with you? I am here. But the spirit, it makes me that we will never be defeated. We are many and they are few. I didn't mean the Israelis, I mean those people of the world who are supporting Israel. We are many and they are few, and the future is ours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mona, and thank you also for reminding us of the root cause of what is happening, and it is Zionism, a racist, genocidal, settler colonial ideology that is rooted in global imperialism. And this is why the fight is global. This is why when we rid the world and when we resist Zionism, we are doing the world a very huge favor. And this is not only on Palestinians. Palestinians are leading, but this is a global fight, first and foremost.
Mm.